Welcome to the Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizjack. I am a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of the online mindset course Appreciation Academy, which helps you get unstuck in all parts of your life, helps you silence negative self-talk, and finally see the success that you deserve. And my mission is very, very simple. I am on a mission to help online business owners break through all the limiting beliefs and negative voices, holding them back from their dreams, and more importantly, from happiness. And I'm curious, do you ever notice that you're not quite satisfied? Like, you're never quite satisfied. Even if you achieve a goal, you're always on the quest for what's next, right? And you're looking for that place where you can just sit there and finally feel totally at peace, totally relaxed, totally calm, like you made it. But even when you achieve a goal, a new problem shows up, right? If you start making more money, you start to worry about more taxes. If you finally start dating, you start to worry about loss. If you start a business, you have to deal with risk. If you're going every single day with this consistent desire to avoid pain, then when you finally solve a problem, more opportunities for pain will show up in your life. And you consistently think that your happiness, or that if you're happy, this will be easier. Or even worse, you think that you'll be happy once you accomplish something. But both of those are false, aren't they? I spent most of my adult life believing that I would be happy when I achieved something else. I believed that I'd be happy when I achieved that elite title in my business. I believed that I'd be happy when I got my business off the ground and started making money. I'd be happy when I had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. And what's so interesting about this is that whenever I lived my life that way, I was less motivated and suffered more, and I didn't achieve my goals. And I made the critical mistake that so many people make. I believe two major myths about life. Number one, I believed that happiness was something external that could be achieved. And number two, I believed that happiness meant that I was without pain. Happiness is an inside job. It's something you bring to every single situation. It's something you feel within you, and it's a way of life. Today is all about welcoming problems and even pain into your life forever. In life, you're going to experience pain. It is coming without a single doubt. There's going to be pain. And for the sake of this podcast, let's use the term pain and the term problem synonymously. Our job in life is opening up to the experience of pain and not falling into a place of absolute suffering. I learned from multiple mentors that pain in life is guaranteed. Suffering from that pain is your choice. But something we don't often understand is that life itself is sometimes a form of pain. Every day, you experience some sort of a problem, right? And what would happen if you solved all your problems in your life? You would be bored out of your damn mind. So we need problems for motivation and inspiration. We absolutely need them to happen, which is why you need to stop hating your problems. We don't need to suffer emotionally from them. That's the sweet spot. When you use your problems for inspiration and motivation, but you don't suffer emotionally from them. Everyone experiences problems or pain. If you're living on the street, you're experiencing financial problems, yes? Well, if you find your way into a home or a good job, you're getting back up on your feet, you're still experiencing some sort of problems, aren't they? They're just less shitty. And if you're well off, you're still experiencing problems. They're just even less shitty than that. So my point in all of this is that everybody will have problems. You need to stop resisting the problems as they come up. Have you ever noticed that whenever a problem, you do that whenever a problem comes up, you push it away and say that you shouldn't feel that way? Well, what happens when you do that? Does the intensity of the emotion get higher or lower? Higher. And do you suffer more or less? You suffer more. And does the problem make it, do you solve the problem or does it make it worse? It makes it worse. So we actually make our problems harder on ourselves by saying we shouldn't experience problems. Your problems are required to experience life. They are the gifts that you grow from. Pain is inevitable. It's coming. And pain comes when you're not where you want to be. But when you resist your pain, you start suffering. And suffering is an unresourceful, victim-minded state that keeps you stuck in the same spot. And if that hits a little bit too close to home, it means you're probably suffering instead of agreeing with me. So let's talk about happiness. Are problems in your life required to feel happiness? Absolutely. And I'm not talking about instantaneous happiness where you feel gratitude for your kids and your family and all that. I mean, long-term sustainable happiness comes from you having problems that you're solving. 100% they're required, because problems are not a bad thing. They're a beautiful thing. In fact, you probably won't feel consistent happiness unless you're making progress on solving a problem. Because what happens the minute that all your problems go away? You feel like you have no purpose. There's no drive. There's nothing to solve. There's nothing to help. So you need to stop putting your happiness elsewhere. It is not based on your rank. It's not based on your title. It's not based on your spouse. It's not based on your bank account. Your happiness isn't something external that you achieve. It's not an equation that you solve. If you're dissatisfied with where you are and you'll only be happy with what you don't have, isn't that miserable? Let me repeat that. If you're dissatisfied with where you are and you'll only be happy with what you don't have, isn't that miserable? In fact, you need constant problems, also known as challenges if you want to take a different word. You need constant problems or challenges in your life to feel happy. And once you understand that pain is a necessary component of happiness, then you stop pushing away pain and you start learning from pain. All pain you experience is a message for you. It is guiding you. It's trying to help you. Write that down in your notes. Pain is trying to help you. Because just like Mark Manson says, the greatest truths of life are often the most unpleasant to hear. That's a form of pain. And pain is so useful, but when you resist pain, you suffer. Pain is how you inspire change. We are wired as human beings to learn from pain. Let's go back to the most basic human example. Physical pain. Back in college, my buddy Jim and I lived together, and we were drunk coming home from the bars, and we threw like a Jack's or Tombstone pizza into the oven. And in Jim's drunken state, he reached into the oven and pulled out the grates to pull the pizza out with no oven mitts on. And what happened? He experienced major pain. It was actually kind of funny. He experienced major pain though. In fact, not only did it really hurt him in the moment, but it hurt even more, or it hurt also when he sobered up. He had a nice burn mark on his wrist, and it sucked. Well, that was his body's way of giving him a signal, basically saying, yo, dude, don't touch hot shit. It was his body's way of warning him, right? That's what pain does. So would you agree that the pain was teaching him a valuable lesson of what's smart and what's not smart? Don't put your hand on a hot stove or a hot oven grate, right? Well, the thing about pain is that you feel it psychologically too. And your brain registers similar feelings. If you experience negative emotions, that's your brain giving you a signal. If you experience negative emotions, it is a good thing to experience some form of that anxiety. It is a good thing to experience some form of sadness from time to time. Don't live there, but it teaches you something. Society says you should attempt to have this unattainable life with no pain whatsoever. But that stops you from getting any feedback that leads you to a better life. I'm not saying once you experience pain, you should keep experiencing it and try to always experience pain. I'm not saying pain should be an endless part of your life. I'm not saying endless struggles should be your life. I'm saying that pain always does come around in some way, shape, or form, as small as a mini frustration or as deep as a death in the family. You don't have to keep your hand on a hot stove, is what I'm saying. But if you listen to the message, you will grow. And the point is simple. Problems in your life will never stop. They just get easier and easier and easier. If you're failing in your business, you're experiencing pain by failing, yes? Well, what happens when you figure your business out? You probably experience the pain of dealing with people and leadership that you don't know how to do yet, right? And what happens when you finish the leadership stuff out? You experience the pain of being unrelatable to new people because you have all the success. And what happens if you figure all that stuff out and you're making millions of dollars? You experience the pain of giving away an ass ton of your money to taxes. You get the point, right? The point is simple. Problems never go away. They just get lighter. And by solving one problem, this is so important to understand, by solving one problem, you're actually opening up the gateway to other problems. And that's a good thing. Just like Jim Rohn says, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Let me repeat that second part. Do not wish for less problems, wish for more skills. So stop hoping your problems will go away. A life without problems is suffering, because whatever you resist, persist. You've heard that cliche a million times. Well, if you resist having problems, the problems get more intense. And some people try to avoid this by literally avoiding their problems. Avoiding your problems equals absolute misery. Because if you pretend that you don't have problems and everything is perfect in your life, and by the way, you're talking to someone that did that, who used optimism as a defense mechanism, and it wasn't actually optimism. Optimism is not, and positivity is not, saying everything is okay 24/7. It's solving it from a positive state of mind, believing that it can work out in a different way. But if you pretend that you don't have problems and everything is perfect, then you'll feel okay for a split second, but you end up craving validation. You end up totally lacking confidence, and you hide how you feel, so you never actually solve the shit you're dealing with. And if you believe that your problems are totally unsolvable, which objectively is BS, right? But a lot of people say that I can't solve my depression. I can't solve this relationship issue. I can't solve this bank account issue. BS, yes you can. If you believe that your problems are unsolvable, then you're just pissed off and miserable all the time. You're lonely and you're helpless. And you feel that there's no way out, so you take this victim approach to life. And since problems are the same thing as pain, if you avoid pain, you get suffering. And suffering is more intense and optional. Tony Robbins says, progress equals happiness. Well, you can't make progress unless you have something to solve. So solving problems in your life is happiness. So how do you live this on an emotional level, though? We've talked about tangible problems like building a business, helping a marriage, or touching a hot stove or a hot oven grate. But how do you solve the pain of your emotions? And this is where emotional freedom lies. This is where abundance lies, because your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your emotions on a second-to-second basis. Like I said, pain is guaranteed. You're going to experience negative emotions. They're coming. But if you don't resist the pain, your emotions get better more quickly. So what are emotions, by the way? Have you ever wondered what emotions are? Emotions are simply life's way of giving you a message. That's all an emotion is. That's it. It's life's feedback saying, yo, this is probably a good call, or yo, dude, stop freaking doing that. That's what an emotion is. So if you feel sad, your brain is telling you there's something unresolved that you need to dive deeper into. And if you avoid that pain, what happens? It gets worse. And it goes for all negative emotions, right? Depression, sadness, anger, jealousy, fear, frustration. All of those negative emotions are beautiful calls to action for your life. That's it. And if you feel them, it means you're supposed to do something. Most people just think those emotions are who they are. You are not your emotions. Your emotions are something you experience. They give you feedback. So feeling that your emotions are who you are, that's bullshit. Negative emotions are just a call to action for your life. So stop denying negative emotions. Stop wishing they weren't there. They are helping you. So stop squandering one of life's greatest resources. And on the contrary, what are positive emotions? They're rewards for going the right direction in life and doing the right stuff. That's what a positive emotion is. I used to teach people that happiness is something you can feel every second of every day. And I was kind of wrong. Happiness is something you can feel most seconds of every day, but not all. Because if you don't have problems to solve or pain to learn from, you can't feel sustainable happiness regularly. You can't feel progress regularly. This is one of the great paradoxes of life. Pain and problems lead to happiness, which lead to more problems. Your job is to stop resisting that fundamental truth. So stop denying how you feel. Stop saying I shouldn't feel frustrated. Stop saying I should be elsewhere. Stop saying I shouldn't be depressed. Play this scenario out with me in regards to anxiety. If you're struggling with the emotion of anxiety and you say to yourself, I shouldn't feel anxious, what happens to that anxiety? Does it get better or worse? Worse. And does it make it harder to solve your problem or easier to solve your problem? Harder. And if you don't solve your problem, you resist the anxious emotions even more, correct? And soon enough, you find yourself anxious about being anxious. And you're probably laughing right now and going, holy shit, that's me. But if you're struggling with the emotion of anxiety and you were to say to yourself, interesting, I'm feeling anxious. What's this telling me about my life right now? If you do that and you pause for a second when you feel anxiety, does the emotion get lighter or heavier? It gets lighter. Are you more likely to solve that problem or less likely? More likely. So does the emotion last longer? Does the negative emotion last longer? Or does it go away pretty quickly when you see it objectively as a message? It goes away really, really fast. So my point in this is not believing you are your emotions. Instead, seeing your emotions as like this message in a bottle life is giving you. See them as an objective third party, something else. So the key to making your negative emotions not last as long is to stop making them wrong and start listening to them as a beautiful way to improve your life. When you do that, game over, life becomes so much easier. So remember, happiness is not something you achieve. It's something you live. And it comes by making progress on problems and challenges. And when you make progress on problems by listening to the emotions that you experience and not resisting the problems or emotions, you solve it. And you open up the door to newer, less intense problems. So happiness is a direct result of listening to your problems instead of hating your problems. So start listening to your problems and loving them because they are the gifts that you grow from. When you do that, you no longer suffer. You finally feel alive every day because you don't make your emotions wrong anymore. And we just barely scratched the surface on this today. This is so top level, and if this is something you know you need help mastering, I highly encourage you to enroll in Appreciation Academy. It is absolutely life-changing. It'll help you finally understand how you tick and get unstuck in every area of your life. It's truly beautiful, and it will make such a lasting impact in how you feel. So if you know something in your heart is stopping you or some way of thinking is stopping you from feeling genuine happiness on a regular basis, head to appreciationacademy.com and enroll today and join the hundreds of people completely changing their outlook on life. You will not regret this. Again, that is appreciationacademy.com. Again, my name is Brad Bizjack. It is a privilege to serve you. Share this episode with people you know it can help today. Share it on your Instagram stories and enroll in Appreciation Academy today by heading to www.appreciationacademy.com and go out there today and every day and live your life with a genuine smile on your face because you can. I will see you next week.